This essay that I'm going to be reading, titled Private Matters, was published in the Rumpus Enough series. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Enough series, but it was a presentation of a collection of essays and poems written in response to the Me Too movement. And the Rumpus said they established this series because they wanted to make sure this conversation doesn't stop or didn't stop until our laws and societal norms reflect real change. And so Private Matters is my contribution. A few things that you might want to know before I start reading is, one, I mentioned Sanford, which was an abusive boyfriend that I was with before I joined the military. And I say things like AIT. Well, that's just like the second part of training after basic training for soldiers. Now, before we begin, I'm sure you all know that the military, they try to emphasize uniformity. They try to emphasize you follow orders without questioning anything and marching to the same beat. And so one of the ways in which the Army teaches this is with cadences. So I figured if you guys were going to march with me tonight, then you might as well do a cadence with me first so we can make sure we get on the same beat. So are you all ready? Oh, that sounded so weak. Okay. Now, when we were in the Army, if the drill sergeant said, "Are you ready, soldiers?" we were like, "Huh?" or "Yeah." So are you ready? Yeah. All right. So the way that these cadences work is I'll say a line, and then you will repeat the line. Okay? All right. So this actual cadence is Tiny Bubbles. It's about drinking. So we should all, as writers, love that. All right. So tiny bubbles in my wine, makes me happy, makes me feel fine, tiny bubbles, in my beer, makes me happy, makes me feel cheer. You live, you live. You left, right, or live. You live, you live. Now keep it in step. Private Matters. The Army's advanced individual training was nothing short of physical and mental torture. But Drill Sergeant, or Granddaddy Burnett, as he ordered us to call him, made the 0500 PT formations, the constant marching, and the hours of classroom instruction bearable. Without his three-teeth grin and overflowing compliments, we were orphans, parented by nameless drill sergeants and an Army that referred to us as government issue. For me, Granddaddy Burnett's encouragement and praise made AIT feel better than home. If I did more than an adequate job calling cadences, I'd hear, "Go ahead, Granddaughter Carter," from the tail end of formation. If our platoon had the cleanest latrines, he'd lavish us with, "You high-speed, low-drag privates make Granddaddy proud." And when we'd pass an 8-up unit during early morning marches, Granddaddy Burnett would yell, "Look at those tore up from the floor up rejects. Ain't y'all glad Granddaddy won't let you be that 8-up?" He then welcomed us into the joke with that signature smile, full lips stiffened into a slant line, barely open at the top, with only 3 teeth peering out. Granddaddy Burnett made me a squad leader my first hour of training. Said he saw something in me, something I had never seen in myself, a leader. And for that reason, I valued his word, his opinion over mine, and I was intent on proving him right since everything about me had been wrong for so long. That's why I skulked throughout the barracks, working to remain hidden the morning Private Lynch told Drill Sergeant I threatened to kick her ass. And she'd earned an ass whooping after she interrupted my conversation with a soldier I had my eye on. I cussed her up and down the barracks halls until I remembered what Drill Sergeant had seen in me. Then I worried he might see me in my original state. The Laurie who cursed her teachers, the one who snuck in and out of the house, defying mama's orders, the one who Sanford proclaimed hadn't been shit and wasn't never gonna be shit. I feared meeting the old me would prompt Granddaddy Burnett to reject the new me, the squad leader he placed so much faith in. 2 days after my argument with Lynch, I passed Granddaddy Burnett in the hall. "Can I see you for a minute, Carter?" he asked in that drill sergeant about to smoke your ass voice. "Of course, Granddaddy," I said as I walked into his office. "Sit down, Private," he said as he closed the door behind me. "Make yourself comfortable." I situated myself on the sofa closest to the window as Granddaddy Burnett, so large in stature and spirit, towered even as he leaned against his desk. "Carter, now I want to tell you something I heard, and I want you to know I'm not going to be mad. I just got to see if it's true." "Yes, Granddaddy Burnett," I replied. Fearful Lynch had manufactured new lies about me, even though I hadn't kicked her ass as promised. "Carter," he exhaled heavily, like his words were causing him pain. "Somebody told me you like me." I gasped. Certain such a rumor would offend the Honorable Granddaddy Burnett, a lifelong soldier, mere months from retirement, a soldier who had served his army with pride, and I, one of his soldier grandchildren, must have been part of some conspiracy to take him down, telling people I liked him. My eyes watered in protest, as I had no rebuttal for that accusation. I spoke fast, hoping an influx of words could erase blasphemy from his mind. "Drill Sergeant, I'm sorry. I would never," I stammered. "It's okay, Carter," he said, clipping my sentences with that three-teeth grin. "I like you too." My mouth could not move. Voice no longer worked. With his few words, Granddaddy Burnett had morphed from the nurturing, protective grandfather I'd adopted into a man like so many men, eager to collect what I'd never intended to give. My argument with Lynch, the fear I would muck up before the end of AIT, all those worries seemed immature, like I'd aged around them. Drill Sergeant shifted his weight, leaving behind the desk on which he leaned. "Get Granddaddy a kiss," he ordered as he bent toward me, his eyes closed, mine wide open, absorbing a world altered. I couldn't look in his face, for the tears threatening release would surely have leapt from my eyes, and I remembered my recruiter, Sergeant Hickson's orders, never cry in front of a drill sergeant. So I smothered my tears and I prayed I wouldn't suffocate. "I'm sorry, Drill Sergeant," I stuttered. "I have to be in a relationship before I kiss someone." I don't know where those words came from. I'd always considered myself a whore. At least that's what I'd been called. But Drill Sergeant didn't know that. For all he knew, I was still a virgin. But he must have seen whore written all over my walk, my talk, my body, even in BDUs. That had to be why he'd chosen me, because he could smell where I'd been and where I'd be willing to go. In that moment, I became more ashamed of my stench than Drill Sergeant Burnett. "I'm not that kind of girl, Drill Sergeant," I muttered in hopes he would rescind his request for a kiss. "No worries, Private," he said with his slanted three-teeth grin. "I like 'em like that." He likes them like that. What did that mean? He likes them saying no? He likes them saying yes when they really mean no? He likes them any way they come, no matter what they say? And who is they? Did they mean Granddaddy Burnett had done this to other granddaughter soldiers before? I did not say no when Drill Sergeant Burnett said I liked him and he liked me. I did not flinch as his voice deepened and his words, aimed at seduction, relayed my new marching orders. "Tomorrow I will assign you to fire guard with a soldier who knows not to tell. You will start your shift at 1200 hours. At 0200 hours, you will excuse yourself and make your way to the captain's office. It'll be dark, but don't be afraid. I will be there." I did not tell him I was afraid because he would be there. After receiving Drill Sergeant's orders, I returned to my bunk, fretting the road I'd been ordered to march. Before that moment in drill sergeant's office, I was a student, a squad leader, one of Granddaddy Burnett's soldier grandchildren. But time spent in his office alone had altered him and me. And no matter how hard I wrung my fingers, no matter how many prayers I prayed to replace now with before, I could not march my way back to the role I had earlier filled.